All right, for part 3, we're going to go over the pacing function. So to demonstrate this function, please note we have hooked it up to our test strip. So we're not going to just be, dumping random charges of electricity into the packaging of the pads. So don't actually enable and then activate this feature without having it hooked up to either a trainer or something to absorb that charge. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So again, to activate the pacer mode itself, you're going to hit the pacer button. And again, as we do this, we want to remember that this is an actual mode. So we don't disable it by simply hitting the home button. When I hit the home button just now, all it did was take away the selector menu. But you'll notice that the pacer itself is still activated. And if we had initiated pacing, it would still continue to do this. So just because I back out of the pacing screen doesn't mean that I stop the pacer itself. We'll go over how to actually turn it off here in a little bit. When I first push the pacing button, again, the pacer, you can see it in the background, it's now enabled. And then I have my pacer settings menu that automatically pops up. The first most important thing to note is that the mode here on the top is not always set to fixed. Depending on the monitor, it may be automated to start at demand mode. Typically, we want to pace patients in the emergency setting in fixed mode. That's kind of what we want to use 90% of the time. We'll have another video about bradycardias where we'll talk about more of the definitions behind demand and fixed and when each would be appropriate. But for now, just remember, most of the time, 99% of the time probably even, we want them to be paced in fixed mode. The way that these menus work is that you hit the enter button when it's selecting what you want to change the settings of. That will move the highlighter over to the screen here on the right, and then the arrows will change the setting itself. Once we have the setting we want, we'll press enter again. It'll take us back over to the left side, and then the arrows will scroll us through the items to change themselves. And you'll notice this pattern with the other modes that we learn later. The rate, again, hit enter to adjust. It'll come over here and we can change the rate itself. You can change the rate and the output after you have started pacing, just like you would on any other monitor. It just seems kind of funny because if you're used to something like a life pack, you might be used to being able to activate the pacer mode and then adjust the knobs that are usually down here. It works exactly the same way. You're just doing it digitally. To start the pacer, you'll scroll down to where it says start pacing and you'll hit the start pacing button. You'll notice that it automatically starts printing, and of course we have our pacer spikes. Again, while this is going on, you can come up here and you can adjust the rate and the output as needed. To pause it, highlight the pause pacing button and hit the enter button. To turn the pacer mode off, this is what we were talking about earlier. You have to actually select this item with your menu and hit enter. Now you will notice everything get disabled and go away. So again, just because you back out of the pacer mode by hitting the pacer mode button again doesn't actually disable it, and it doesn't stop it from whatever it's actively doing. You have to manually come in here and either hit pause and or come down and actually select turn pacer off and hit enter. Okay, so that's pacing in a nutshell. Thanks for watching.